In this tutorial, we'll discuss how you can use Turnitin's instructor feedback tools to provide meaningful and constructive feedback for students. Turnitin's feedback layer includes three main tools: Quickmarks, Feedback Summary, and Rubric Form. Quickmarks allows for specific in-text commentary via embedded PDFs. Your feedback summary allows for general feedback concerning an assignment and/or assessment event as a whole, and the rubric form allows for quantitative feedback combined with qualitative criteria and explanations for a given grade. So I'd like to point out that the order in which we discuss these tools doesn't indicate the order in which you should use them during grading. Many instructors prefer to begin with the rubric tool, while others may choose to begin elsewhere. Our purpose here is simply to ensure you understand how Turnitin can and should be used for much more than just a similarity report. Most instructors realize fairly quickly that certain feedback is often applicable to multiple students across multiple classes and on multiple occasions. Quickmarks allows instructors to access and create a library of feedback applicable to these situations. To access Quickmarks, click the check mark in the blue instructor feedback layer. The first time you open Quickmarks, it will display the commonly used Quickmarks set, which includes options for common issues like awkward sentence construction, missing citation, commonly confused words, missing commas, and those types of things. If you're unsure what a Quickmark means, simply click on the mark, and a description of that mark will appear at the bottom of the screen. This is also the description that students will see when they click on a mark that you have embedded in a text, and we'll discuss that shortly. If you don't see the mark corresponding to the comment that you need to make, you can browse other pre-constructed sets by clicking the arrow in the drop-down menu here. Obviously, these probably won't be very useful, but for example, let's say you are working with a student who is working on an argument. If you select short answer, you'll have a number of different pieces of feedback that are pre-constructed for you, dealing specifically with providing support and evidence in support of an argument. So for example, if you have a student who is having issues with explaining ideas thoroughly, then by embedding this comment, you'll be able to direct your student to take the time to explain their ideas thoroughly and some examples of how to do that. Organizing ideas, if we have organizational issues. So you see, these are the types of things that we tend to encounter quite often across a variety of classes and with a variety of students. To access a more comprehensive view of the available Quickmark lists, select the gear icon here on the top right. When you click on this gear icon, a full listing of all of the Quickmark sets that are available will appear. You can scroll through and see the names of each one of the different types. The Quickmarks within are listed specifically here in this middle column, and when you click on each one of these, you get your full explanation of the evidence here on the right-hand side. Perhaps one of the most valuable tools available with Quickmarks is the ability to create your own custom set of Quickmarks. So instead of having to go back and forth between these pre-created sets, you're able to actually create a custom set that includes all of the pre-created marks that you use on the regular, as well as any new marks that you create yourself. So to do this, click on the gear icon here on the right-hand side, and this opens up the full Quickmark menu. To create a new custom set, come over here to the left-hand side in these three vertical dots, and then click on New Set. Type in the name that you want for your new set. We'll just use my set for the sake of simplicity, and click Submit. You now see that the name that my set appears in the list of pre-created Quickmarks. However, you'll notice that there are no marks actually included in it. So to add marks to your set, you can either select ones that have already been included in your pre-created sets, or you can create your own. So let's first imagine that we are commonly using the composition set, and specifically we find ourselves using the sentence fragment mark. To add this to your set, simply come over here to the right-hand side and click Add to Set. Scroll down to My Set, click on Submit, And often it takes a little bit of time to actually get it saved, but once it does, when you come over here to My Set, now you'll see that you have sentence fragment added to it. Now to create your own custom Quickmark, from this center menu, click the plus sign. This opens the menu that you need to create your own set, or to create your own mark rather. So I've created a few in the past, so we'll just go ahead and select new mark, again for the sake of simplicity. Add a description. It can be as simple or as complex as you need it to be. Often the more specific it is, the better for your students, because remember, when they click on this after you've embedded it in a text, this is going to tell them what it means. So add your description here and then click submit. Once you've done this, you'll see that the new mark appears here in your set of Quickmarks. Again, you can add as many new marks as you want to. Obviously, I would advise giving them more specific names, but you can create as many new marks as you need to, and you can add as many pre-created marks from other sets as well. So once you have all the marks that you would like to have here in the center, go ahead and click close. Pay no attention. For some reason, we often get this error when we do this, but as long as you see that your marks have been added, then they are fine. So just to show, we're going to go ahead and click close. And then if I come over here to My Set, you'll see that I have 2 marks that have already been added to my Quickmark set. And so now when I go to assess a new student's paper, all I have to do is go to My Set and I'll have every Quickmark that I need available here. Finally, if you are looking for a particular Quickmark that you know is in existence and you're just not sure exactly where it is, but you know what it's called, you can always do a search for a Quickmark. So let's say you know you need the comma splice Quickmark, type in CS and it'll pull it up no matter where it is, no matter where it's coming from. So this one is included in the commonly used set. But if I do a search, that search actually applies to every set that's already available. So if you know the name of your mark, simply type it into the search and you'll get it here. Now that you know how to access and create Quickmarks, let's talk about how to use them. The most effective way to use Quickmarks is to make sure that the text that you're associating the mark with is highlighted. So to do this, let's imagine we want to talk about this text here. So we will click and drag, and this will highlight the text that we're worried about. When you let go, a menu pops up. This check mark, if you hover over it, you'll notice Quickmark comes up. And clicking on this will bring up the same menu here that you see over here. So you're able to actually embed a Quickmark directly from this. You can select a different set. So let's imagine you want to embed something from your set. You can absolutely do that. For the sake of ease, we're just going to stick with the commonly used. And let's imagine that this is a run-on sentence. So we click run-on. You have the affected text here that's highlighted. Your student is able to see who it is that embedded this particular comment, what it is, and they're also able to see this description. Now, this is just a general description of what a run-on sentence is. So it is always a best practice to make sure that you add a comment here. So be specific to what it is that they need to do. So if this is something that you've talked about them or talked with them about in the past, then you can remind them of previous conversations. Perhaps you want to give them some specific suggestions for how to rewrite this run-on sentence to create one that is grammatical. Or perhaps you want to provide them with a link to a resource. For example, Westcliffe's Writing Center has a resource on how to identify and avoid run-on sentences. So if we wanted to embed that here, we could simply highlight the text, click on the link button, and then paste in our menu for the run-on sentence resource, click OK, and now you have the embedded text. You can accomplish this same general goal by simply dragging and dropping a Quickmark from the menu on the right-hand side. So again, simply drag and drop, and it will deposit the Quickmark into the text. Now, while this is a quick method of getting a Quickmark from the menu over into the text, you'll notice nothing is highlighted, so it's not nearly as specific as when you actually highlight the text and provide the Quickmark directly with it. So, in this situation, I'm going to realize, you know what, I don't like this. I want my student to be able to see exactly what it is that I'm referencing, so I want to delete it. To delete a quick mark, you just click on this little trash can down on the left-hand side, and the quick mark disappears. We'll go ahead and do the same thing with this one, so that all we have are the specific quick marks that are related to highlighted text, so that our students know exactly what it is we're commenting on. Now, another thing you may have noticed when you highlight text within your student's document and let go, there is more available on this menu than just the quick mark. You can also add a comment. So if you have something specific that you want to say about this highlighted text, simply click on the little comment bubble and then type in what you want to say. The same thing goes with the comments here on just a comment bubble as go with the quick marks. So if you have a resource that you want to link them to, perhaps you know of a source that's going to provide that they can use online that's going to provide them with excellent support for this argument. You could absolutely link it for them here. And you can also turn this into a quick mark. So if you are finding yourself repeating the same feedback to students again and again and again, then you can actually just click on Convert to Quick Mark, give this a quick title, select the set that you want to add it to. So again, let's just say my set. Let's say all the time, because we're using this all the time, and then we click on Submit. We got that same error we got last time, but again, you're able to see all the time over here, so we know that it did in fact work. So that is a way that you can turn a comment bubble into a quick mark, and then you still also have your highlighted text so your students know exactly what it is that you're referring to. Now, the next time you go to use this particular item again, it will actually be noted as all the time or as whatever you title the quick mark instead of just being a comment box. Now, the next thing you'll notice is that there is also the option for this means putting in text, so actually adding text to the document. Now, I will be honest, this is not really what I would call the best way to add text, but if you want to, just click on the T and you get a text box. So if you want to suggest a rewording, or if you just have a comment that you want to put directly in that they're not having to click on something to see, then you can actually put it in this way and it just remains there as a text box with whatever it is that you typed available. If you decide that you don't want it, again, you've got your little trash can here. You just click on that and it'll go away. Lastly, if I highlight a piece of information that I feel needs to be taken out, so I feel like this phrase doesn't need to be here, there's no reason for it, I can click on the strike through option and it just it strikes through the text so your student knows when they go to do their revisions, they should probably be removing this piece. Now the strike through option is only going to appear once you've highlighted something. So again, you see it here like this because I've highlighted this text, but if I simply click over here, that's how I get the text box. So if you're talking about striking through something, you want to highlight, but if you're wanting to add text directly within the document, then that's how you're going to click on the text box and then actually type what you want to say. In addition to specific in-text comments and feedback provided with Quickmarks, the feedback summary tool allows for you to offer general recorded or written feedback. This broad summary tool is where you can explain the reason for a student's grade and provide other more comprehensive feedback on a project. To access the tool, click the notebook icon in the feedback layer. With the feedback summary tool open, you'll see the voice comment tool at the top and the text summary field at the bottom. With the voice comment tool, you can record up to 3 minutes of audio feedback. So it's best to write a brief script or keep a set of notes handy so that you can make sure that you get everything you need to say into that 3-minute time frame. To make a recording, click the bubble on the left of the voice comment tool. When you hover your cursor over it, you'll notice it says record a voice comment up to 3 minutes long. When you click the button, it starts to record, and you can actually see that it can hear me because of this little equalizer thing. The first time that you access this tool, you will likely see a pop-up somewhere asking you to allow Turnitin to access your computer's microphone. Be sure you do allow this so that it can actually hear you. While recording, you have the option to pause, and then you can pick your recording right back up where you left off, simply by clicking the button and the pause. Once you are finished recording, just click this square, and this is going to give you the opportunity to either save the feedback for your student or delete the feedback and start over. For written feedback, you've got a couple of options. You can either type your feedback directly into the text box, or you can copy and paste feedback in if you've written it in a separate file. You can also embed links here. So if you wish to link to resources or perhaps like a ScreenPal recording or something along those lines, you can absolutely use this link tool to do that here. Now, the best part of the feedback summary tool is that you don't have to pick between recorded or written feedback. You can absolutely include a combination of both to ensure your students all get the information they need to understand how their work was assessed, why they earned a particular score, and what they should do to remain on the path toward success and address areas of opportunity to improve the quality of their work. Lastly, we have the rubric tool, indicated by the stack of boxes in the feedback layer. Clicking this icon opens the rubric associated with the assignment you're grading and allows you to input the numeric scores associated with your student's performance on a given project. Each criterion refers to a specific assessment area and includes 10 possible levels of achievement to choose from. You can view each criterion and the descriptions of each achievement level in a few different ways. Of course, as you can see, Turnitin automatically offers a kind of quick view that shows your rubric criteria at the top and the description of each achievement level at the bottom. Clicking on a given criterion populates it to the bottom of your screen. So we see criterion 1 is already there, criterion 2, criterion 3. And selecting an achievement level then populates the description of that level in the same box. So let's say I want to select 6 for criterion 3. We're able to see this here at the bottom. Probably notice that this box is pretty small, but you can expand it by clicking on these parallel lines and dragging them up or down. So that allows you to see more of the descriptions. You can also scroll through. So if you're not sure that you want to select, perhaps you want to select criteria or level 5, you can absolutely go to level 5 instead. Or as you're reading 4, etc., etc. And then when you select your criteria, if you scroll back and forth, the descriptions for each of your achievement levels also scrolls down in this bottom screen. While this is handy and quick, it's not necessarily what I consider the most effective or efficient way to view and use your rubrics. For that, you'll want the expanded view. So to access your expanded view, click these 4 arrows pointing out, and that pops open a window. I'm going to just pull it over here so we can see. This expanded view shows you the rubric in a quick, easy to read grid format. You can adjust the size to see more or less of it by just grabbing onto any one of the corners and pulling out. You can also scroll through to use these navigation bars at the bottom and on the sides to scroll. If you have a mouse, you can just roll up and down. And then you'll also notice that you have navigation bars within each one of your specific achievement levels as well. So you're able to either grab and scroll or just go up and down. To choose the achievement level you want, just click the box. And Turnitin will highlight the box for you to show you that that is the level that you have chosen. In addition, you'll also see the score change in the bottom left hand of the expanded view. So if I click here, you'll see my score changes. Click here, you'll again see my score changes. Once you have all of your selections made, click Apply to Grade, and then click Close. And this will return you to the basic overview, and you'll be able to see that your selected scores have been populated on the right of the screen here. Now, if you just want an overview of the rubric for your own information, you can also get this by clicking the gear icon. This opens a basically for reference only view of your rubric. You're able to see all of your criteria, you're able to see each of your achievement levels, Again, you have your navigation bars so that you can move through, and you're able to scroll through all of your individual achievement levels. But what you don't notice is the score in the bottom left, and that is because this is for reference only. So it can't be edited because it is attached to your assignment already, and it is also not owned by you, but it is something that you can look at. You can also, if you choose, print this off, and you can make a copy of it if you want to by creating a duplicate. So if you have a class that you want to use a similar to this rubric for, then you can just duplicate a copy. Once you're finished looking at it, click on close, and it brings you back to the general overview. For this last note, I'm going to pull our expanded view back up. As you can see, rubric criteria and rationale provide very generalized feedback about what the student has and has not accomplished in regard to the assignment parameters. And that's why it's up to you to elaborate on this quantitative feedback by providing more detailed and specific qualitative feedback using your in-text comments via Quickmarks and also the feedback summary tool. When used effectively in conjunction with one another, Turnitin's instructor feedback tools provide you with everything that you need to provide quality constructive feedback for your students all in one place.